That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? We were supposed to have Fast 11 by now, or Fast 10 Part 2.
I feel so cheated.
I know. I'm like, where is it? After Fast 9 and 10, listen, everybody knows I'm a huge Vin Diesel fan. I'll be a Vin Diesel fan for life. Fast 9 and 10 were crap.
Awful.
Fast 10 was a little bit better than 9, still crap.
Didn't buy either one.
And the box office took a big slide down, did not make the money they thought it was going to make. And I think they've just been going back to the drawing board over and over and over again. Well, they're still saying it's happening. And Vin Diesel was just at an event, and he made a pretty interesting proclamation that in Part 11, they're going to bring back Brian. That's what they said. This comes to us from CBR, who wrote the following. Vin Diesel confirmed that Fast X Part 2, just call it Fast 11, Fast X Part 2 will bring back Brian. On stage, Diesel shared, "The studio said to me, Vin, can we please have the finale of Fast and the Furious in April 2027? By the way, I guarantee you they did not ask him that.
Right.
But can we please have Fast and Furious in April 2027? I said under 3 conditions. He teased, adding to the camera filming, "You're going to love this. First is to bring the franchise back to LA. I guarantee you the studio insisted that they bring it back to LA and that he can't shoot in 17 countries anymore. Anyway, you got to bring the franchise back to LA," he said as the crowd cheered. "The second thing is that we have to return to the car culture, to the street racing," as if he wasn't the one who took it away from that in the first place. Again, I love Vin. I'm not crap talking Vin. I love Vin, but come on, Vin. The second thing was to return it to the car culture, to the street racing, which, by the way, the studio also wants to bring the budget down. But this is the part that surprised me. The actor explained, which was a longtime fan request, he added, "The third thing was reuniting Dom and Brian O'Connor."
They came to me with tears in their eyes.
They came, please, Vin, please give us Fast 11. Yeah, listen, I guarantee you what happened was in talking with them, saying, okay, yeah, we'll do 11, but 17 countries around the world anymore. Nope, not going to give you the money to do that. Bring it back to LA, bring it back down, make it more about the car racing culture, limit the budget a bit. But I do believe that he asked to have Brian back. And I got to tell you, that's the big thing here about bringing Brian back. I am a little torn on it, but at the same time, completely okay. Look, I believe the actor is never the character. The character is a work of fiction, provided we're not talking about a real life character. It's a work of fiction that different actors in their times can come in and play and portray and move on. And if an actor passes away while playing a character, I know it's not the popular thing to say, but guess what? Other actors play Bond, even though Sean Connery isn't with us anymore. It's not disrespectful. No, it's just Sean Connery played Bond and now somebody else is playing Bond. It's just the way it is. I think it's okay, in theory, to have someone come back and play Brian. However, even I have to acknowledge that the circumstances surrounding Brian losing his performer were very unique. I mean, Paul Walker, they were literally in part 7 they were filming at the time? They were literally in the midst of making part 7 or 8. I can't remember which one it was. They were halfway or more than halfway done shooting the film. It was 7? In which he tragically died, ironically in a car accident. And that even the guy who says recast, even I've got to say, that's a very unique set of circumstances.
And they already gave him a great send-off at the end of that movie.
They did. I mean, and that's how they handled it beautifully. They handled it beautifully. They did what they needed to do to finish the movie. They brought in Paul's brothers, did a little bit of digital touch-upping, finished out the movie, and then they did that "Till I See You Again," which everybody gets choked up when they hear that song now, and the cars go diverging on their separate ways, and everybody gets weepy. It was a very unique set of circumstances. We're now years later and several films later, and you're now talking about wrapping up this franchise, right? I can absolutely understand the idea of this franchise was born with Toretto and Brian. That was this franchise. It was the Toretto and Brian franchise. And now that they're getting ready to wrap it up, is there an appropriateness to bring the character back one more time? And I've changed my mind, Rob. I when I first read this story yesterday, my thought was, no. You already gave him the send-off. You already wrote the character out. You can't bring him back. But in like the last 24 hours, I've thought about it more. And with the way technology is now, I mean, you know, they had a very good experience working with Paul's brothers. Paul's family is totally all for it, which is the most important thing. And it would almost feel weird to end the Fast franchise without Brian there. So I've gone back and forth on this, Rob, and maybe I'll go back and forth some more. I'm actually okay with this, depending on how they handle it.
Yeah.
I've come around to being okay with this. I don't know. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Stitch Fix. Let's be honest, shopping is not my thing. I've wasted way too much of my time either in stores or scrolling for clothes, only to end up with stuff that doesn't fit or just, doesn't work. See, that's why I use Stitch Fix. You take a quick style quiz, your size, your vibe, your budget, and boom, you're paired with a real human stylist who curates pieces just for you. They send you a fix box with clothes actually fit for your life. Stuff you'll wear to work, on weekends, or wherever. It saves me time, helps me look great, and I never have to step foot in a store. You try everything on at home, keep what works, and send back the rest. Free shipping and returns, no subscription required. Oh, and your first fix? The try-on is totally free. So if you're tired of the endless shopping grind, this is your sign to try Stitch Fix. Seriously, it's style without the stress. Head to stitchfix.com/Campea to get $20 off your first order, and they'll waive your styling fee. That's stitchfix.com/Campea. You hear about this. What's your initial thought on it?
Well, I mean, we're reaching a point in our civilization where we're going to have to choose, because now it's going to be so easy to digitally recreate people that are no longer with us. Are we going to want to watch that? And do you want to watch long dead performers interacting with real performers? Or is it not going to matter? I mean, I really think, I don't know the answer. In this particular case, depending on how much the character plays into the film, the fact that they used his brother to come back and recreate him, which I think they would probably do something along those lines. I assume
that's what they would do again.
If that's what they're going to do, that to me is at least acceptable. Because that you're seeing the guy's brother at least was the basis of the digital capture of the character, and they painted his face, or maybe because the time has passed.
They didn't even have to do too much because the brothers are very similar.
Very similar. So depending on how you want to do that, I can understand wanting to do that within the franchise. Look, I'm more interested in the story because here was a franchise I dearly loved. Like I said, Fast Five's the Citizen Kane of the Fast and Furious movies. I mean, I was a huge fan of this franchise. 9 and 10 were, to me, unwatchable. We saw 9 in the theater.
Dude, I still remember us, you, me, Ann, and our buddy Cliff. It was a very early screening of it. Very early screening. And you, me, Ann, and Cliff, we went to dinner first. And we were like, oh my God, this is going to be so good. We were so excited. We thought the trailers looked awesome. We were all so happy. And then I remember us walking out of the theater dead quiet. Like,
oh yeah. I mean, I've never, never seen a movie that whole opening, like there's a chase scene across this no man's land where bombs are going off.
Oh, that was so bad.
I'm like, I don't think I've seen a movie that has, the only other movie that lost me as much as Fast 9 was Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Those two movies, I'm like, how do you... That's the 9th. Rise of Skywalker was the 9th Skywalker saga, right. And Fast 9 was the 9th Fast 9 movie. And there are two movies, the 9th movie in the franchises. Both of those are case studies in what not to do.
Somehow Brian has returned.
Yeah, I mean, God. Both of those movies are just horrific on every level.
So,
And remember, in 9, Han Solo came back.
Han Solo came back.
That's right. That's right. He did. Short little appearance, but he did.
Terrible.
I try not to think about that movie at all. The more I think about it, it would seem weird when you're saying Brian is still alive in this world to end the franchise and not have Brian be a part of it, especially when the brother can step in and fill the role. especially when you can make him look very similar. And like you said, Rob, it really all depends on how much they use them and what they do with them. So yeah, I listen, I've come around to it. I'm okay with it if they do.
Sure. I mean, at this point, anything would be better than the last two
how
movies.
can it make things worse?
No, it can't.
Because you can't get any worse than 9 and 10. So anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? My boy Vin is saying that they're going to bring back Brian. And maybe you're like me, and initially I was like, I kind of recoiled to that idea. But I got to admit, the more I think about it, I think it might be poetically appropriate to bring back the character for the final ride. I don't know. Whatever you guys are feeling about this, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.